Hi YouTube, my name is Tyler and I have a pretty interesting story that I think I should be sharing with you. Normally I talk about like motivational stuff or messages. This is kind of like that, but this is actually my story. So we should probably start at the beginning. So I am 10 years old, right? I have no money. I have a lot of time, right? We all have time at 10 years old. It was summer. I'm like, how can I start making a difference and how can I start making a change, right? I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? I always saw the movies and my dad's an entrepreneur and I thought that if I could make some money, maybe I could be a little more happy, have more time, have more things, right? So that's what I did. I started a car detailing business when I was 10 years old. I employed 7 people and I was making like $200 a week for summer. So I made like $600 in that summer in 3 months, which was a lot of money for a 10-year-old kid, right? So from that time, I always knew that I was a little bit different because a lot of the kids, even the kids I employed, were out riding bikes and staying up late and playing video games and stuff. And I do that too. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's if you do it all the time, it becomes your focus and your goal, So I wanted to have this, right? It's 2013. I am 13 years old. I'm 11. I'm 11 years old and I'm starting middle school. I'm in 6th grade. Right, so I see all these people on TV and in movies and stuff. I'm like, come on, like I feel like I can do that, and I feel like a lot of us have, especially with acting, and maybe some of us wanted to be on Disney Channel or, it's just always a really cool thing. So I'm like, I think that I could do that. So my parents put me in a class. I met some really great people, and I started doing acting. So I did that from 12 years old until just earlier this year when I was 17. For 5 years, from 12 to 17, still being a kid. I really still am a kid. Now I'm just 18, a technical adult. But in doing that, I had a lot of success. But also, I thought that pursuing that would make me happy. Having the money and the fame and the followers and the cars and stuff, obviously, like it was really cool. But at the same time, all those things fade really fast. Really fast. It's weird because you don't understand that until you have it, right? So there I am in middle school. In 8th grade, or the summer of 7th grade, I started doing feature films. I'm filming this movie for 3 months. I come back the night before school starts at like 12 or 1 in the morning, right? So I go to school the next day and I'm thinking like everyone's gonna know who I am. I'm not gonna get bullied anymore. I've done this awesome movie. I got paid a lot of money. Because of those things, I thought that I was gonna have success in school and in my social life, right? And that didn't turn out true at all. In fact, it was even worse. The more successful that I got, the more hate and the more bullying and stuff that I encountered. It was really weird because I felt like these things that the world glorifies, they were supposed to make me who I am and make me feel accepted. And then once you have those things, or once you experience some of those things, you realize that that's not it at all, right? I didn't have any value. I didn't have any self-purpose, right? And so what happens when we don't have motivation and we don't have a purpose in life? We just stay. I was rising from 10 years old, rising, and then I'm like here, and I have all these things that I wanted, and I'm like, when is it ever gonna be enough, right? I was on a movie set with this millionaire, right? He's got a McLaren MP4 12C. It's one of my dream cars. It's fantastic. I got to drive it for the day. Awesome mansion. We're sitting in his backyard. I'm like, man, you're worth like $20 million. And he's like, yeah, of course he knew this. And I'm like, when is it enough for you? And he's like, no one's ever asked me that before. I don't know. When is it enough? $20 million seems like a lot of money to me. But if you're always chasing something that can be changed, or if you're chasing something that can be lost, then what are you chasing? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If you're chasing followers and money and things, those are all temporary things that can be taken away just as easily as you get it. Even if you work hard for it, it can still be taken away like that. And so that's when my perspective changed. So I went, that was in like my freshman and sophomore year of high school. I went online school because I had no friends. My friend group at the time had really split off. One of my friends had committed suicide. It was just really rough. I was getting bullied. I felt like I was completely alone, even though I was surrounded by people and I still had friends, technically. It was weird. So in that, I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing acting anymore. I don't know. I need to find my purpose, right? So I don't know. I just kind of coasted through life. Just coasting through, not really doing anything. My bank account was good, and now it's starting to go back down. I wasn't making any money. I wasn't making friends. I wasn't making time for anything. I was a loser in my definition. I had achieved so much, but at the same time, I felt like I was not worth anything or not even comparable to the next kid in front of me, right? Which is weird because we set these goals and these dreams, and we're like, I'll be happy when I get this. I'll be happy when I have the car, the money, and the followers. But when we do that, when we set a goal that can be moved, it just keeps moving back, and then you never reach the finish line. It's like, when are you gonna be happy, right? So I stopped doing acting earlier this year in like February or March when the pandemic started. And God put it on my heart to start training for the Navy SEALs. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like, I feel like the Navy SEALs is super cool. Like, you see all these movies and you have all these heroes and these like really good, solid American people that I just wanted to be like. So I'm like, okay, all right. So I went to the recruiting office, right? Got some friends and started working out and training for this Navy SEAL mission for 6 months. 6 months of my life. That's what I told everybody I was doing. I didn't care about the cars or the money. It was a humbling experience. Because a lot of these SEALs, they go and they train and they just forget every negative thing. David Goggins, Chris Kyle, Jocko Willink, like they say, like, you have to have extreme ownership. You have to own up to everything that you do. You're the only one that's gonna get you out of bed in the morning at 4 in the morning and go and work out. No one else is gonna make you have success. You have to find it in yourself. That's something I had always known, but like it was never real to me. So I'm like, dang, I'm not ready to be a SEAL. I need to step back from this and just learn from these motivational people, right? So I started watching podcasts of David Goggins, and I started thinking about business and money and stuff because I'm about to turn 18, and I am 18 now, but a couple months ago, I was like, I need to have my life in order. I need to start doing something with my life that's not just acting, right? So I'm like, I should figure out how to self-motivate, right? All this stuff that I've been through, right? I have a really unique story. I'm like, maybe if I could share some of the things that I've learned along the way, I could find happiness in that and helping other people. And then I can still have the cars and the followers and stuff. But at that point, I didn't care about that. I bought this car when I just turned 17. It was about a year ago. In a month, it'll be a year. It's a 2013 Scion FRS. It was my dream car for a long time, but I just never thought it was really attainable, right? If I've learned one thing from 2020, it's that the impossible can happen like that. Like, my biggest dreams and ambitions and goals all happened this year. Like, I got everything I've ever wanted. It was amazing, and it still is, and I'm just at the beginning. So I went, I started watching these motivational people and figuring out what makes them tick, right? Why do they think the way that they do? And I figured it out. And I'm like, it's so easy to understand, but it's hard to live out, right? You hear people say like, it's easy, that's easy for you to say, but it's hard to live out, right? It's hard to talk and walk, right? A lot of people just talk the talk or they walk the walk, but not a lot of people just walk. And so I stopped telling people, I stopped living for people, I stopped living for approval, and I stopped living for money and cars and friends and girls. I set all that aside, and I'm like, I need to focus on myself right now. So I made a TikTok, and I wanted to do something that was unique, because I feel like a lot of TikTok is like dancing and pranks and stuff, which is all good and it's fun to watch, but at the same time, like, at the end of the day, if I were to make videos like that, what am I really giving people? Like, obviously I'm giving you an escape from your reality, but what am I teaching you with a prank video or a dance video? Like, I didn't get it. So I'm like, Tyler, you need to make a video that you needed when you were in your darkest hour, right? When you felt so alone and so depressed and so sad, you had no money, you had no friends, like, You need to make videos for people who are in your darkest hour, right? And so that's what I did. And my first video got like 100,000 views in a couple of days. I started this, I think I posted my first video on September 1st of this year. And by the time I was October, I had 100,000 followers, and now it's like mid-November and I almost have 200,000 followers. My videos have been seen by 6 million people, over 6 million now. And it's just crazy, because if I went back to my 6th grade self, who was alone and sad all the time, and I had money and followers and stuff, and I was doing cool things, but that didn't matter at all. I was so obsessed with those things, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day, right? You have to have happiness and fulfillment in yourself. So I'm like, if I could go back there and be like, dude, Tyler, it is all gonna be okay, right? You're gonna have the car that you've always wanted. You're gonna have hundreds of thousands of fans, and millions of people are gonna see your videos, and you're actually gonna make a difference in millions of people's lives, right? I do car commercials now. I shoot videos for a living. That's what I do. I love cars, and I get to work on my own car, right? If I had told myself that, I would have been like, I don't believe you. I don't think that it's gonna get better. And there's still sometimes I'm like, how is it gonna get better, right? But if I can go from being a 6th grade, in my definition, it was a failure. But I learned something when I was doing the SEAL training of, you shouldn't count your failures as failures. You should count your failures as teaching opportunities. Like, what is this gonna teach me? Why is this happening to me? And what can I learn from it? And once I switched to that mindset, then everything else came to me. And once I stopped pursuing the cars and the fame and the money and stuff, once I gave all that up and I'm like, I'm done, I don't care about any of that anymore, that's when I got it all. And it's still like, I think God calls us to be good stewards of what we have, right? Of our money, time, talent, treasures, right? So I love what I have, and I've worked hard for it. But at the end of the day, it's just a car. Followers are individual people, but at the end of the day, they're a number on your screen, right? You shouldn't care so much about the cars and the numbers and everything. All of the things that you think are success right now, what is success to you? Right? A lot of people say like, oh, I want to have fame and I want to have money or like a Lamborghini, right? Those things might come to you, and they probably will if you work hard, but you can't have that be your focus, right? So, okay, let me put it like this. How many of you have lost your keys before, right? You lose your keys and you're looking in all the places that you think your keys might be, right? And then you stop looking for them and you're like, dude, I give up. I can't find my keys. So you give up and you're looking for your keys in all the wrong places, right? And then you stop looking for it, and then what do? You find it. And you're like, oh my gosh, it was there? I should have looked there. I was right there. I was so close. How many of us put our stuff and our success into the keys, and then when we can't find it when we're searching for it, right? As soon as we stop searching for it, that's when we find it. Stop searching for success in the wrong places. Believe in yourself and work hard. Change your mindset. And that's when everything's gonna come to you. I'm literally at the beginning of my story. I felt like since I was in 6th grade, 12 years, now I'm 18. I'm 18 years old. And this is just the beginning of my story. Thank you for watching, and I hope to put out a lot more content, and follow me on TikTok and Instagram for more motivational stuff and you hear more of my story. And feel free to leave a comment. I'd like to hear your story too. Thanks for watching.